Hi, Slangel here from Slangel Designs. And today I thought we would mix it up a little bit in the sense that we've been working on our teddy bear pattern together, and I thought, well, we'll just break it up for a little bit and we'll do a granny square, and we'll get back to the teddy bear in the next video. So I thought today we would do the Mosaic granny square. Now this is an interesting textured square, and I have a couple of samples here I want to show you that I did. This one is using just two colors, and I alternated 2 rows of the light with 2 rows of the blue, then 2 of the light, 2 of the blue. And then this one has using the 4 colors, which is recommended. And you start with your lighter color and work out to your darker color. Not a huge fan of the color combination I chose for this one, but anyway, that's beside the point. It kind of still shows you what I'm talking about here. It gives you more of the pattern. It kind of shows up a little better in my opinion. And if you had a bunch of these together, when you seam them together, it would give you a nice design. Now I used a larger hook for my samples, and this is worsted weight yarn, so it made about a 9.5 inch square. Okay, so I do recommend that if you're making this pattern, that you use the hook that's recommended for the yarn you're using, because you could use whatever kind of yarn you wanted. I don't really recommend anything over a 5 weight though, because it's a little too bulky. But something else you could also do with this is, if you wanted to make these squares bigger, when you get to round 7, just repeat round 7 and follow the instructions around. And then your round 8, because it's your finishing round, save that one till you have the square the size you want, and just add on the final finishing round. So you could make these squares a little bigger. Hey, if you want, you could even so much as make just a smaller square and then put your finishing round after whatever round you want to stop. You just won't have as much of the design. Okay, so it is slightly forgiving. I do like the blue colors together though. So it does recommend 4 colors, and use the hook that's recommended for the yarn, which you find on your label. The stitch abbreviations are fairly straightforward, except for maybe one, because this is classified as, I would say, as an intermediate skill level. The long front post treble is going to be a new stitch, I think, for some people that may not have seen that before in any of my videos. I don't think we've run across it just yet. So I will show you multiple times how to do that, and that's what gives you the little forward facing looking stitch. Okay, kind of brings your work to the front. So without further ado, let's get into it. I'll set this to the side. And you always want to start with your lighter color in the middle and work your way out to your darker colors, okay? So to start, I have just a basic kind of a creamish yarn color. So we're going to chain 4, but we're not going to slip stitch the chain together to make a ring. So you're going to chain 4, and it says to do it loosely, because the 3 chains just off the hook count as your first double crochet, because then you're going to come back into the first chain and put in 2 more double crochets. And what happens is that makes your first little cluster. Then you're going to chain 2, and this is why you had to do this loosely. In that very first stitch, we're going to turn around and put 3 more double crochets to make the next cluster. And I will put a link to the double crochet tutorial in the description. As well, I'm also going to put the link to the website that has the free PDF version that you can download for this square. So now that we've done that, we're going to chain 2 again, and we're going to put another 3 double crochets in. To make our next cluster. Chain 2, and then you're going to come back in for 3 more double crochets. I know it's kind of snug in there, but you do have room. And then you're going to chain 2, and then you're going to slip stitch into the top of this chain 3, and that will complete the first part of the little granny square. So you can kind of see you got your 4 corners where you did your chain 2s. Then when you go to round 2, you're going to stay with color A. What it wants you to do is 2 double crochets in the 4th chain from the, okay, we just did, that was round 1. So now round 2, it wants you to slip stitch over so that you can get to this corner. So you're going to put your hook in the first set of stitches, yarn over, pull through the stitches, yarn over, pull through the loop on your hook, put your hook into the next set, yarn over, pull through the stitches, and pull through your hook, and then into the chain 2 space where you made your corner, yarn over, pull through that, and pull through the loop on your hook. You've now slip stitched over to your corner. It doesn't make this grouping look any different, and you're ready to do round 2. So in the chain 2 space, we're going to chain 3, which will count as your first double crochet, and then go to do 2 double crochets, chain 2, and then we're going to go right back into that chain 2 space with 3 more double crochets to make our corner. Then what you're going to do is you're going to chain 1 to skip over these next 3 stitches, and then we're going to do another corner, so we're going to do 3 double crochets, chain 2, followed by 3 more double crochets in the exact same chain 2 space to make our corner. Then we're going to chain 1 to get over these, and into our corner, our chain 2 space to make our corner, where we're going to put 3 double crochets, chain 2, and then 3 more double crochets in the exact same chain 2 space. Chain 1 to skip over the next grouping, into that chain 2 space in the corner to do 3 double crochets, chain 2, and then 3 more double crochets, and then you're going to chain 1 and slip stitch to the top of the chain 3 that you started with. And then you're going to fasten off because you're now done with the first color. Set that one aside. I'm going to get my yarn needle here. Secure that, and I'm going to just weave. Again, I always highly recommend weaving your ends in as you're going, just to save you some headaches at the end, and it keeps it from getting in your way too when you're doing your work. So weave it through, come back in, weave it back, fasten that one off, and we'll just secure the tail here from where we started, and just weave that in through, making sure you're not coming out through the side, the front side of your work. And we'll trim that up. Whoops. Butterfingers. All right. So after round 2, this is what your square should look like, okay? So now we're going to move into, we're going to grab our second color, which is just, it's hard to tell, but it's a little bit darker, which is, you don't want too much of a difference in the color. So we're going to join color B, or your second color, to a corner chain 2 space. So join that however you like to join. I just tie mine, leave a tail so you can weave it in. Then what we're going to do is chain 3, which counts as your first double crochet, put in 2 more double crochets, chain 2, and then put in your 3 more double crochets in the same chain 2 space to make your corner. And here's where we're going to get a little different. Let me just get my, pull out some yarn. All right. So I'm going to actually get rid of this now. So, because I kind of left it a little long. I'm just going to it's not in our way. So now what you're going to do, you did that, you're going to chain 1, which is going to get you over these stitches. Then you're going to come in with a double crochet in the chain 2 space, or the chain space that you did before. Now here's your long front post treble. You're going to yarn over twice. Then what you're going to do is bring your hook down to the 2 rows below. So this was the first row below, second row below. In the center double crochet, you're going to put your hook in to the back, around, and back out through the front, so that your hook is in underneath that double crochet. You're going to yarn over, pull through, but you need to pull up so that you're pretty much level with the row you're on, so that you don't, so it won't buckle. Then you're going to yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Then you're going to come back into that same chain 2 space with a double crochet. Then you're going to chain 1, skip the next stitches, we're over to the corner, we're going to put in our 3 double crochets, followed by our chain 2 and 3 more double crochets, and that makes our corner. We're going to chain 1, which gets us over this grouping here. Into the next chain space, we're going to put a double crochet. Then we're going to do our long front post treble. So yarn over twice, come down to this grouping in the center, put your hook in through from the front to the back, in behind that middle double crochet, come out towards the front, yarn over, pull through, and pull up so that the loop from that is even. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Then we're going to put another double crochet in the exact same chain space. So that still gives us our group of 3. It just happens to be that the middle one dips down and grabs onto the one from 2 rows below. Chain 1, and then we're going to go into our corner chain 2 space and make our corner with our 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochet, then you're going to chain 1 to get you over that grouping. Come into the next chain 2 space with your double crochet, then get ready to do your long front post treble, yarn over twice, down to the group below, hook goes in from the front to the back, goes in behind that double crochet in the middle, comes out to the front, yarn over, pull through, and then kind of pull that loop up so that you don't make your work buckle. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and then we're going to go back into that chain space again with another double crochet to finish off the group of 3. Chain 1, do our corner in our next corner chain 2 space, is 3 double crochets. You're going to be experts at corners. Chain 2 and 3 double crochet. Then we're going to chain 1, which gets us over this grouping. Come into the next chain space with a double crochet, yarn over twice, down in through the front, around that double crochet and out through the back. Bring that loop up some, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. Then we're going to go in with a double crochet into the same chain space, and then we're going to chain 1. That'll get us over here, and we're going to slip stitch to the top of the chain 3 we started with. And that will finish round 3. So it may not be, it may not show the contrast. There is a slight contrast, but it may not show up as well. So now to get to round 4, it wants you to slip stitch again so that you can get over to your chain 2 space in the corner. So hook goes in, yarn over, pull through the loops, yarn over, pull through the loop on your hook, and do that until you get over to the corner. Oops. There we go. We've slip stitched over to our corner, and it doesn't make that little piece of the granny square look any different than the rest. Okay. So now we're in our corner space. So you're always going to start out with your corner, which is chain 3, 2 double crochets, chain 2, right back in with another 3 double crochets. Then we're going to chain 1 to get us over this grouping. We're going to go in to the chain space with a double crochet. We're going to yarn over twice and get ready to do our long front post treble. So we're going to go down, and we're going to put our hook in from the front to the back around that middle double crochet and come out to the front, yarn over, pull through, pull up the loop a little bit. I'd say it's about 1 inch, if that. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Go back into that same chain space with another double crochet to finish off your set of 3. We're going to chain 1, yarn over, put our double crochet in here. Then we're going to yarn over twice, go down in, and do our long front post treble. So you're going to repeat this around because and we're going back in with a double crochet. And we're going to chain 1, and we're going to go in and do our corner, which is 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, all in that chain 2 space in the corner. So now what I want you to do, I want you to pause it and press play when you get to the end, and I'll show you about the joining and what we're going to do for round 5. Be right back. Okay, so you've come around and you're towards the end, and you've gotten all your stitches in. You're going to finish the round off with a chain 1, and you're going to slip stitch that to the top of the chain 3 space. And this was the second round of this color, so we're going to fasten it off, secure it with a slip knot, and we're going to weave that in to get it out of our way. Whoops, just dropped a piece of yarn. Get that after. So we're just going to weave this in. And trim that off. I'm going to set this color aside. I've brought in my next color. So for round 5, okay, at the end of round 4, that's what you should have there, okay? I better pick up that yarn before the cat grabs it. That's all I need. All right, so you can kind of see the pattern we're starting here, okay? So I have my next color, which is a little bit darker. And again, for round 5, you're going to join your color into the corner. Do that however you like to do it. We're going to chain 3 and put 2 double crochets in there as well. You're always starting out in your corner. Chain 2. And then put in your next 3 double crochets. You're going to be such experts with corners. Nothing wrong with that. So then I think like I did before, I'm just going to weave this in super quick and get it out of the way so we're not pulling it up, doing other things with it. And trim. There we go. So now this yarn doesn't unwind very nicely, so I'm just going to put that down on the floor so it'll roll around. We're going to chain 1 like we did before to get over our grouping. We're going to go in with a double crochet. We're going to do our front post, our long front post treble. Again, make sure you're pulling up enough of a loop, holy, so that you're not making your work buckle. And then we're going to go back in with a double crochet. So very similar to the other rounds, but let me show you here. So you're going to chain 1, put a double crochet in the next chain space. Now, here's where it's a little different from the previous rounds. You're still going to do your long front post treble, but the middle double crochet, there's no middle double crochet. The one in the middle is one of the long front post trebles. You're still going to treat it the same as you did with the other. You're going to go down, put your hook in from the front, in behind it, so that your hook is behind this long front post treble from below. Yarn over and pull up your loop, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, back in with your double crochet in the same space. So it just is looping. You're still doing the same sort of thing you did with the other stitches, you just happen to be wrapping it underneath the previous long front post treble. Still treated the same as you did as the other stitch, okay? So chain 1, double crochet into the next space, yarn over twice, do your long front post treble, back in with a double crochet, chain 1, we've got to our corner, so we're going to do our corner work, which is 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochet, all in that corner space to make our corner. Chain 1 into the next chain space with a double crochet, yarn over twice, down and in and under that double crochet, yarn over and pull up your loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, back in that same space with another double crochet to make our grouping, and then chain 1. And that gets us over to the next one, which we're going to put a double crochet, and I'll show you this next one, and then I'll let you pause it. All right, so you're going to yarn over twice, go down, put your hook in under that long front post treble that we did before, yarn over, pull up, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, back into the same space with another double crochet, chain 1, and we're going to go on to our next one. So you're going to keep doing this around. So you're going to have on each side you'll have one on this round that will each side will have one that involves doing the long front post treble around a previous long front post treble, okay? So pause the video and work your way around until you get to the end of the round, and I'll meet you back up there. Okay, so we're reaching the end of round 5. So I've done my last grouping in chain 1, so I'm going to slip stitch to the top of the chain 3 that we did at the beginning of the round, and that finishes round 5, and there's what that looks like now. So you can see the texture and the pattern starting to form. Okay, so it's looking good. So for round 6, we're going to do our slip stitch over to the corner, and essentially you're going to repeat round 5. Okay, you're going to do your corners, chain 1 to get across the grouping, and do your double crochet, long front post, double crochet, and work your way around. So if you want to work your way around to the beginning of the round and meet me back for round 7, I will be right back. Okay, we're at the end of round 6. I just did my chain 1. I'm going to attach with a slip stitch to the top of the chain 3 space at the beginning of the round. I'm going to fasten off because that's the end of that color. Set that one to the side. I'm going to secure it with a slip knot there, and I'm going to weave the end in. So there's 2 rounds left, round 7, round 8. Round 7 is identical to the last couple of rounds we just did. So I'm just going to get you started here, and then I'll get you to pause and work your way around. I'm going to show you round 8 in more detail because it is a little different than what we've done. But after 6 rounds, there's what we have, and you can see how it's starting to kind of come together. So what we're going to do is we're going to join in our chain 2 space in the corner like we've been doing. Chain 3, put our double crochets in there, followed by our chain 2 and our 3 more double crochets, to make our corner. Chain 1. I'm going to get rid of my tail here. And you're going to work this round just like you did the last round. So if you want to put me on pause, I think if you needed to, you could go back to more detail from round 5 to see what we've done. But only if you need to. Otherwise, just pause it and continue working your way around, and then we'll be on to our last round. I'll show you that in more detail. So I'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. We just finished round 7. I just did my chain 1. I'm going to slip stitch to the top of my chain 3 space. Now, slip stitch across. We're going to start round 8, okay? So slip stitch across to get to your corner space like you have been doing all along. There are some differences in this round though, so this is why I want to show you. But this is what it looks like so far since we've gotten up to round 7. I think that looks great. So yeah, so we're going to do our corner, which we normally do. So we're going to chain 3, go in with 2 double crochets again, chain 2, and put our 3 double crochets in that same space in the corner to make our corner, okay? Now here's where it gets a little different from the other rounds. We're not going to chain 1. What you're going to do is skip this next stitch. You're going to put a double crochet in the next one. So into this one here, okay? You're skipping the one here, double crochet into that next one. Then you're going to do a double crochet in the chain space. You're not doing anything with this one. You're going to do your long front post treble into your next stitch into behind that double crochet down below. Put your next double crochet in the same chain space that you have been before, but now you're not chaining one again. You're going to do a double crochet in the center stitch of that grouping, okay? So you're skipping one, double crochet into the center stitch. You're going to skip the next one, put your double crochet in your chain space, do your long front post treble, your double crochet in the same space to make your grouping. Again, excuse me, no more chaining one. You're going to do your double crochet into the center of that next grouping, skip, double crochet into the chain space, followed by your long front post treble. It's a mouthful. Double crochet, skip the stitch, double crochet into the center stitch, and keep on working around until you get to the end. I almost forgot to show you something important. So we're going to keep going around here until we get to the corner, and I'm going to show you there's a little slight difference because of where you're putting the double crochets in that center spot. So let me get to the corner here and just give you a quick show what to do. So, all right, so do the last grouping here before the corner. Now, because you're not doing the chain one, you're still going to skip this stitch and put a double crochet into that center one from the first bunch of the corner. Then you're going to put your 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets in the corner. And then skip the stitch into the center one, and then keep going around. All right, now I'll get you to pause it and work your way around, but I just thought I better pop back and say what to do at that corner in case I didn't give enough detail, okay? All right, I'll meet you back at the end of the round. Okay, so we're getting to the end of round 8. So I just did my last grouping there of the double crochet, long front post treble, and double crochet. I'm going to skip the next stitch, put a double crochet in the middle there, and then I'm going to slip stitch to the top of the chain 3 space to finish off the round. I'm going to cut my yarn, secure it with a slip knot, and then I'll go back and weave that in after. But there's what our mosaic granny square looks like. I can't stress to you enough though to make sure you're pulling up that loop on the front post treble, long front post. God, that's a mouthful. Long front post treble, so that you don't have your work buckle on you. Because if you have it too tight, it'll kind of curl in like that on you, and you don't want that. You want it to be nice and flat. You still will have to block your squares before you put them together, but yeah. So that is, and the color combinations that you could use can make all the difference in the world. I think something with a white and a silver and a navy, if you used white, silver, and then even just did the last 4 rows with the navy, it would look really almost like a snowflake, and be really nice for a Christmas blanket, especially if you're making a gift. But yeah, so this is the Mosaic granny square, and I will have all the links in the description that are pertinent for the video and to the PDF free download for you. So, and again, I'd love to hear in the comments as to where you're watching me from, and if you've made any of the project, I'd love to see a picture of it. So that's it for the Mosaic granny square. Any questions or concerns or clarification needed, please don't forget do not hesitate to put it in the comments, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Yeah, so that's the Mosaic granny square. I hope you enjoy it, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. We will be finishing up the parts of the bear, I believe. All right, so take care and happy crocheting.